You are getting busy. Yeah, bring up the picture from Sunday.
I need to just speak normal.
Check, check. Yeah. Can you hear me? Is everything okay? Yeah. Can everyone hear me?
People from Southeast. And you are the people traveling from every state. Downtown Florida. No, I cannot imagine that the name of mine. We're 3 years old.
Okay, nice. How many people are on the Zoom?
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We are really excited to have one of our own, Najjar. She is a graduate of the University of Oregon, a degree in journalism. And today she's going to present about the power of digital media and a little bit about the work that she's been doing. And she's done a lot of different things. And she's going to present about that Tonight, I have the pleasure and MET, Organized Summer Academy, Ismet, has had the pleasure of teaching Hanin. She was with us until 10th grade, I believe, 11 years. An amazing student, and now she's doing amazing work in the field of digital marketing, production, and a lot of other things as well. And one of the things that we really want to foster is leadership within our female students to take ownership, because they are going to be the ones leading, and we've seen the change in the nation as a whole, and Hanin, inshallah, is part of that change. So I'm going to turn it over to Hanin. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hanin. Just a little bit about myself. Let's see if this PowerPoint's going to work. Get the PowerPoint up. Technical difficulty. Just 1 second. Let's see if I can get it working. You got it? Perfect. Thank you. All right. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Hanin Najjar. I'm a multimedia journalist, and what that means is that I do journalism, but also across multiple different platforms. So photography, video, social media, writing. And I've wanted to become a journalist since I was 7 years old, since I was, a second grader here at MET. And I remember one time in class, the teacher really gave us this assignment where we had to write a whole bunch of things about ourselves, our favorite color, picture of us. And one of the questions was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember I originally wanted to write astronaut. And then one of the girls in the class was like, don't be an astronaut. Astronauts wear diapers, which I didn't know was not true at the time. But I decided to write journalist instead, not really knowing what a journalist meant. And so I spent the next few years really diving into all these different modes of storytelling. And I later graduated from high school, went to college and studied journalism for college. And then I graduated, and now I work as a digital content producer at a news station in Portland. And what that means is that I get to write stories for their website. I get to post stuff on their social media, manage their social media on their website, but I also send the push alerts that you see on your phones. And I really get to manage what people see on media from a news station. This year, I also launched a digital publication called She Made Digital. And let's see, there we go. She Made Digital is it's a digital publication and a multimedia platform that empowers specifically Gen Z women of color, personally, professionally, and financially. And there's a few reasons why I started this publication, and specifically for this group. So Gen Z is the generation that was born between 1997 and 2012. So that means the oldest of this generation are about 25 years old. The youngest are about 10 years old. And it's a generation that not many people are talking about yet. You hear a lot about millennials with, the workforce, or with how they're not being able to buy houses, or all of this, the different things that you hear about millennials. You're not hearing about Gen Z as much. But Gen Z is right now, just looking at some statistics about this generation, they are the most educated. The adults of this generation are going to college at a higher rate than any other generation in the history of the US. They're also the most diverse generation. And they're probably going to get more diverse as, we get kind of more immigrants coming to this country. And then they're also right now, Gen Z and millennials are both the least paid generation. There was a time in the US where being on minimum wage could buy you a house. That doesn't exist anymore. So really being able to kind of manage our finances, we don't know anything. You kind of go through school and college not knowing how to file your taxes, not knowing how to really budget or manage your money in any way. This generation is also the most depressed and anxious. We're dealing with things like gun violence and climate change, and we're really thinking about this stuff at a very young age. So I started this publication, let's see. Oh. It'll, oh, I don't know if we'll switch the slide. Come on. Can you press present? Can you go on there and press present on the slideshow? On the top right. Well, while he's figuring this out, I will tell you a little bit about what we're doing at She Made. But it's a website, it's a digital publication. It's also, we're also have a newsletter, and we're working on kind of building out coursework. But essentially what we're doing is focusing on the personal, professional, and financial development. So kind of growing into our best selves and creating this community for the specific group of Gen Z women, and really being able to foster that growth in every aspect of their life. So not just in their professional and career life, but also in learning to manage their money, learning to invest, and also in looking at their personal lives. So looking at managing mental health and looking at even managing like relationships in your life, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends, even your relationship with yourself. So this is what our website looks like, and this is kind of a few of the things we're doing. Hopefully we want to kind of build this platform out to offer a whole bunch of courses on all of these things, courses on yoga, courses on investing, courses on like writing a resume and acing a job interview, all of this stuff. And so one thing I want to do is kind of a short exercise with you all. You probably found an index card and a pen on your seat. So I want you to pull that out, and I really want you to kind of think of writing one personal goal, one professional goal, one financial goal. We're in October, 2022 is almost over. We're almost in 2023. So really be thinking about, what do you want to do for the rest of this year? What do you want to do, whether it's 2023, a goal you want to accomplish? What do you want to do, maybe long-term goal, maybe like in the next 5 years? So think about, one personal, one professional, and one financial goal. And if you're watching on Zoom at home, you can do this on a piece of paper or just thinking about it in your head. But yeah, and a personal goal can be anything like, I want to eat healthier, or I want to go to the gym. Professional goal can be, I want to change my job or something like that. I want to get a raise. A financial goal could be, I want to save a certain amount of money, or I want to travel somewhere. So everybody take a minute and think of that. Okay, does anyone want to share a goal that they have? Maybe share a personal goal. or a professional or financial goal? Anyone want to share one goal that they have? You want to get negativity out of it? That's an important one. I bet they think everyone wants to get negativity out of their life. That's a good one. Anyone else? Does anyone else have a goal they want to share? Get healthy. That's a good one. Get healthy. Yeah. She wants to get healthy. That's a good one. Exercise. That's a good one. All right. I want you to flip that index card over, and on the other side, write what is one thing that you wish someone would have taught you when you were younger? Was one thing that, you wish like that you had to learn the hard way, and that maybe if you had learned it a little earlier, it would have made your life a lot easier. So take a minute and think of something. Okay, anyone want to share? One thing. Yeah. You still thinking?
I'll share one thing that I wish I learned earlier is, nowadays, if you don't find money, you end up losing your friends. So someone told me, a lot of doing that, help from yourself, your competencies from each other, the more you learn, not only this can help. But I think that is like, makes it good for me, helps for you. Because for more likely, many times, the person you must see more, without having some personal issues on why you think bad, so you focus more after. So I learned that a lot, but after I told him that.
It's a good one. You learned it the hard way.
I learned the hard way.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Yeah. Time is very valuable and it goes by really quickly. Yeah. Don't waste your time. Anyone else? We could do one more. Good. Okay. Let me show you. Let me tell you some of the things that we do on our website, some of the content we have. So we have our website, it's a digital publication, and we have a lot of articles on it. And so we have two main sections on our website. We have our adulting section and we have our life section. And our adulting section is really focused on everything from career, money, life, really kind of the professional and financial part of your life. And then the self part is really focusing on your health, your mental health, eating right, taking your vitamins, all of that stuff. And then looking at beauty, so hair care, skincare, all of it. And then relationships, like I mentioned earlier. So relationship with your family, relationship with yourself, relationship with your significant other, and really looking at how you can thrive in all of the relationships within your life. We're gonna load. Okay, here are some of like the examples of the articles we have on our website, especially for this. These are the ones from our adulting section. So kind of building your credit score, especially in your 20s, learning to invest. Women lose up to $1 million in their lives because they either invest too late or don't invest at all. Men tend to invest a lot more than women do, but if men don't invest, they also stand a chance to lose that much money as well. And even things like how to negotiate your salary, how to ask your boss for a raise, all of these things are really, really important. So that's kind of the stuff we cover in our adulting section. Our self section, really like looking at stuff like self-care. We have also just like profiles and interviews that we do with a whole bunch of different people, with founders of different companies. We have one that's with a founder of a skincare brand that uses turmeric in their products, but also focuses on getting like ending child marriage. There's another one that looks at like redefining what Chinese medicine is. So these are some of the articles that we have and some of the things that we do. So the lessons I want you to kind of walk away from this lecture is really, no matter, this website is mostly targeted toward, Gen Z women of color, younger women. But the lesson that anyone can take away from this is, one, never stop growing, never stop learning. It's never too late. Invest in yourself and invest in the people around you, especially the younger people. I asked you to think of something that I asked you to talk about something, to write down something that you wish you would have known when you were younger. So really being able to teach that to the younger people around you so that they don't struggle as much as you did. So those are the lessons that you can take away from. If you are interested in learning more about the website or our social media or anything that we do, here's links to all of our social media, as well as our email newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks. A whole bunch of resources, as well as our articles. If anyone has any questions, I can take questions right now. Yes, I'm Wajdi. It's a really good question. So I think I've said I wanted to be a journalist since I was about 7 years old, but I really also, as I was growing up and going to high school and going to college, really saw how bad the representation is, especially with Muslims, but also with every other minority group. And I've done a lot of work in a lot of different publications and a lot of different articles and stuff on marginalized communities, on women of color in the past. And I think now that I've gotten to a point where the world has shifted and media has shifted, and there's such a huge emphasis on representation right now. Representation right now is a much bigger conversation than it was 10 years ago. And it's really, really incredible. I think everybody's talking about representation right now. And so with this publication, with this project, I've taken a different approach of not just representation, but how to really empower this specific group, how to empower young women of color to take matter into their own hands and really be able to share their own voices, but also be able to grow into their best selves and to grow into their full potential in every aspect of their life, in their professional life, in their financial life, in their personal life, and how to really make that possible for them. I am 23. I think there's a lot of things that I'm learning this year as I've kind of graduated college and started working that, I wish I would have learned earlier, that you kind of go into college and then you leave college and you get into the workforce and you realize that the outside world is very, very different from school. And I think a lot of even maybe learning how to deal with different people, learning how to communicate, really being able to, I think one advice that I would kind of give any parent is from a very young age, teach your children how to deal with money, teach them how to budget, give them an allowance, and so they can figure out how to spend it and how to save and what to do, save up for something that they want. Really, I think managing your money is probably one of the most important life skills you will ever learn. It's a really good question. Yeah, one of the things I really want to turn this into, so right now it's a publication. It's we have an email newsletter, we have our social media accounts. I want to start building courses, and not just one course, but like a whole bunch of different courses on everything within kind of that realm of personal, professional, and financial development. Working on a course on investing, or working on a course on, even what you should know about finances before you get married, courses on like yoga, courses on what you should know before you buy a house, on like raising your credit score, on applying for a job, on all of these things. And really being able to have teachers all like that are teaching these courses who are also women of color, who are also kind of, building their lives and building their careers. So there's this aspect of empowering, but also this aspect of community and learning throughout all of it. Yeah. We have a lot of stuff on mental health. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, like outside of the content that we have that's personal, like that's professional and financial. One of the biggest topics we tackle is like mental health stuff, is how to deal with like stress and anxiety. It's even how to like, everybody's talking about like starting to go to therapy and stuff, but also looking at the realities of like therapy is expensive and how to find affordable ways to do therapy. Trying to find like communities where like you can talk about the stuff that like you wouldn't have been able to talk about elsewhere. So that's one of the biggest aspect that we're trying to do, is also like build that community, to foster a place where like people can connect with each other and not just like come and get information. Any other questions? That was a great question. We do, yeah. We have a lot of information on that. Yeah, so we have a few articles about that are actually going to go up this the next couple of weeks, about just like healthy coping mechanisms. When we're stressed, we tend to either eat too much, or some people tend to smoke too much, or something like that. But we're trying to find like what are some healthy mechanisms for when you are stressed. So maybe it's going out for a walk, going out for a hike, exercising, learning to do some yoga or some meditation or anything like that. Learning also just to have like a healthy diet, taking your vitamins every day, drinking a lot of water, the very, very basic stuff of like, this is what keeps your mind and body healthy. And then you are better able to kind of deal with stress and deal with things that come along.
How do you see the gentlemen that are present today involved in?
That's a very good question. I think a lot of, especially older Muslim women, they either are housewives or don't work a full-time job. And I think even though, like one, that is a very important job to raise kids, that's probably one of the most important jobs, but to really empower the women like in our community to know about finances, even if they're not working, to know everything about how to budget and how to manage their money. And also to empower them to really like invest in themselves and learn whatever they want to learn, not just for themselves, but also to teach their kids. So I think that's really important. It's a very good question. I think that's probably a bigger topic. Yeah. And that's, I mean, one of the issues that we talk about, and how to deal with your relationships, and how to really make your relationship something that's thriving, and kind of deal with conflicts. Any other questions?
But you use the word "we" a lot. So are you doing this on your own, or do you have a team?
I have a team. I have a team of about 8 people. So we have writers, we have our social media manager, we have a copy editor, we have a designer. Yeah, we have a pretty cool team of a whole bunch of people that are working really hard on this. Yeah. So right now we're not doing digital marketing, but we are kind of planning things for the future to do kind of ads on social media within this project.
one of the things that they do well, like,
That's very true. Mhm.
you say, one of the, most boring jobs is, uniform.
I didn't say that.
No, I mean,
I didn't say that. I said it's one of the most important jobs, not boring. I think it's anything but boring. You see that?
It's fun, it's,
Yes.
I mean, how do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
It's a very good question. I think I'm still figuring that out, but as right now, I'm kind of working my way up being a journalist. I know Amawaji wants me to come work at MET. We'll see. And then, yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep building this and see where it goes.
Get back to find a good husband. Become a great mom. Honey, one final question from me.
Yes.
Have anybody done like this in the, among the women in the world or among Muslims? Or this is the first time?
That's a very good question. So I haven't seen any publication like this. I've seen a lot of stuff similar to this geared toward millennial women, and mostly it's toward white women. So really kind of focusing on women of color, and even the platforms for women of color are usually focused on one thing. They're focused on beauty, or they're focused on career development, to really have this holistic approach of like personal, professional, financial growth in all aspects of your life, and also targeting this generation and women of color specifically. That is something unique that we're doing.
There was a magazine, and then I read that magazine. The concept was done by Sister Sarah, it produced on the 8th of publication. I was one of the early people, or the committee was one of the early people to subscribe. And it has a similar concept. Sister Sarah, she passed away because of cancer, pancreatic cancer. Without anything. Early 40s. I think this is something that can be turned not only online publication, but it can be turned into a publication that people can subscribe to. Especially, many of the American women don't have access to it. In the common mom, very difficult to help them empower them to outside the box. So think about policy, so well done, well done. We're very proud of that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for listening.
I couldn't say that, including Melinda Gates.
That's great. Of course. It is. It's a good one.
What do you think about it? What did you like about it? What did you like about it? Huh? Did you go beyond your expectations? What do you think? Huh? And what what do you think? I don't know.